Good morning, everybody. Good news is no one passed away yesterday, so thank God for that. But our numbers are up. Right now, we're at 563 positive cases, 668 people under mandatory, and 66 people under precautionary. And total so far, out of 1,378 people have completed quarantine, 282 are positive cases. So that's the good side of it. You know, people are getting it, or we're quarantining them. They're following the rules. They're staying away from everybody, and they're doing the right stuff. There are now 32 people hospitalized with a hospitalization rate of 5.68, which is up a little bit from yesterday. But we have 8 adults in ICU compared to 12 yesterday, so which is good news also. As we started getting testing back at UAlbany, obviously these numbers, we knew these numbers were going to go up. The tests are starting to come back. They're starting to get into a flow, into a system up there. So we're going to see more cases go up. Also, with the initiative that we talked about yesterday and that we launched with the sites that we have going, you're going to see that number change a little bit too and go up a little bit more. Again, I want to thank everyone, including the governor's office and UAlbany and everyone involved up there. But I especially want to thank again the Whitney Young for their partnership yesterday and going forward. And again, the first testing site will be set up today starting at noon. And I'll get into that in a little bit more. But also want to remind everyone about the new executive order the governor signed to have to wear a face mask out in public. Keep your 6 feet separation. The media covered it. $1,000 fine it could be, but no one wants to do that. I know the sheriffs, the police departments don't want to do that. They have better things to do than going around policing people to make sure they do what's right. And that's all we're asking you. Do what's right. You want to go out, do what's right. Stay 6 feet apart or wear a mask if you can. But again, I've been looking forward to today with all the hard work from Dr. Whalen, her staff, my staff, everyone that made this possible. So again, our mobile site, if you need to make an appointment, the number is area code 518-465-4771, area code 518-465-4771. And again, the first site's at Capitol South Campus Center, and there will be 3 sites opening tomorrow. Again, testing by appointment only, but the Whitney Young site will be permanent. That will be Monday through Friday. That will not rotate. That will stay open Monday through Friday. The other 3 sites will rotate through the communities as on a need basis. Obviously, if we go to a site and there's not a lot of people signed up, we're going to go to where the bulk of the calls that we're getting that we need to take care of. But the Whitney site will be open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4. That's 9 a.m. to 4, Monday through Friday, and the other 3 sites will be open rotating basis mornings and afternoons, depending where they're set up. I encourage you to go to our website. You can find out where they're all at, and we'll make sure that we get you in there. So again, please go to the website, call Whitney Young, call the number 465-4771 to make an appointment. Some of the questions we got: are we going to test you if you're not sick? No. We're going to be taking the people that meet the certain requirements to get them tested first and foremost. And then as more testing come available, yes, we will be testing more people. I think the governor's been rolling that out. They're trying to figure that out to get more testing up. But right now, we can't waste tests on somebody that just wants to be tested to see if they have it. And one of the things I want to assure the people watching this or listening to this, doesn't mean because you get tested and you're negative, you can go out. You could go out and be exposed 3 hours later and get it. So I don't know where people are going with that. If I get tested, oh, hey, then I'm good. I can go on with my life. No, that's not the fact. So it doesn't give you a Superman, to put on your chest, a little less, to go around saying, hey, I'm good. I came back negative. So I want to make that very, very clear. Again, I can't thank enough everyone that's been involved to make this possible. Being the first county in the state of New York to do this is important. It's important for the mapping and tracing. It's something that Liza and I have talked about, and we can't address an issue if we don't pinpoint what's going on. So, Dr. Whalen.
Good morning, everybody. So, as the county executive indicated, we are very pleased that we are going to have these additional test sites in our high-needs neighborhoods down in where the health department is located in 12202, and over by Whitney Young, and uptown near Central and Clinton. So these are sites that we're looking forward to getting more people who may have been challenged to get up to the UAlbany site tested. As we test more, we get more positive cases. This is the reality. So this is good that we get a better picture of what's going on in the community. What we haven't seen so far, which is also good, is that our hospitals are not hitting their surge capacity. So while we have an increase in positive cases, we are not necessarily seeing a great deal more of severity, although we do have patients still in the hospital and in the ICU. So this is something that will continue to follow along. It goes along with the paradigm that we've discussed the whole time, that 80% of people who contract COVID-19 will get an illness that does not necessarily require hospitalization. I do want to make a second point. We have heard a lot nationally about people that are staying home, not going to the hospital because they're afraid of going to the hospital, and that home deaths have been on the rise. We've heard this more in the New York metropolitan area. I have reached out to the coroner's office here in Albany County and have heard we are not experiencing a similar trend, but because this is something that's happening nationally, I think it's important to address. If you are ill, if you are feeling very ill at home, the hospital is still the best place for you to receive care. Utilize our wonderful hospital system if you need to utilize the system. People are not going to the hospitals in other areas of the country when they experience non-COVID related symptoms, symptoms like chest pain, symptoms like abdominal pain, symptoms of other serious illnesses. These things continue to go on, even in the time of COVID. So it's important for people to know that they need to address emergent medical conditions the way that we have always done, utilizing your primary care provider and your hospital system. I am looking forward to seeing the numbers as we roll out this testing. And I think that in Albany it gives us a really unique opportunity to get more data from an epidemiologic perspective. And with that, we can discuss more. I also want to talk a little bit about the governor's order yesterday. We've talked many times at these press conferences about masks and what masks can do. Again, the executive order is to protect those around you more than it is to protect you. It is a good utilization for source control. So if you have COVID-19, you will be less likely to spread it to others. And given the fact that we know that there is a significant amount of people that are asymptomatic or have very mild symptoms, this is being recommended to help others. So it's important to know that, because again, when you consider why you wear a mask, consider who you would like to protect. Consider how you can protect others. I will get something up on our county website today about masks. I know a lot of people are asking about, well, you know, we are being mandated to wear masks, but where do we get them? And this can be a challenge. The governor's order puts the responsibility on an employer at a workplace to come up with masks, but also talks about homemade masks and face coverings. There are certain things that you have to take into consideration if you're utilizing a homemade mask. You want something that's covering your nose and your mouth. So if you wear a bandana with the bottom open, you're not doing the full job. We'll post something today so that people can get a better idea of what that looks like if you're in a situation where you would need to wear a mask, but you don't necessarily have access to surgical masks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Whalen. Thank you for everything that you're doing, and I can't thank you enough on behalf of all the residents of Albany County. Some good news. So with everything going on in today's world and the new norm, one of the issues that we've always had for a long time is the wireless and internet access in the Hilltown communities throughout Albany County in different areas. So today, in a partnership I'd like to announce with Albany County, Hudson Valley Wireless, in New York State, we're bringing a new source of affordable, reliable, high-speed internet access to our Hilltowns. Hudson Valley Wireless is a regular telecommunication provider based in Albany that is going to launch the wireless this weekend and to all the residents in the Hilltowns. And it does cover down to Queens, Ravenna in certain areas. But it's something that's been long overdue, something we've been working on for a long time. I want to thank also, we'll have speaking later, Chris Smith, the county legislator from the Hilltowns. Chris carried the legislation in the legislature for us, and it's been something my staff's been working on, and we thought we had to get this done, especially with kids being home in an area that typically didn't have internet or dial-up access. You know, I mean, think about it, dial-up and trying to do videos or Zoom or trying to teach over dial-up. It makes it nearly impossible, and the superintendent will talk about that. So, you know, getting this rolled out is more important, more now than ever before. And one of the things, you know, it's a cost. Some students aren't going to be able to afford it. Some families aren't going to be able to afford it, especially with the amount of layoffs and everything going on in certain areas of the county that might not have the resources to pay for this. So working with Hudson Valley Wireless in my office and working with the school district, we're going to make sure the roughly 300 students do have access. They have tablets. The superintendent will talk about that, and I don't want to take away what he's going to talk about. But we're going to make sure that to the people, just while the school year is still out, where's the superintendent, while the school year is still out, that we make sure that's not an issue. I don't want families to worry about that at this time, and we're going to work the cost out and make sure we pick that bill up so that they don't have to worry about it if they don't have the means to pay for it. Because it's crucial to continue on the education while they're at home and not fall behind, you know, because they can't get internet access. So we're going to make sure that happens while we're going forward. So again, I want to thank everyone involved, but it's possible too with the towers that we put up in the Hilltowns over the last couple of years. Sheriff Apple's initiative to get the towers up to better service the 911 for areas of the county where they couldn't get 911 service or the radios didn't work because they're in dead spots. So now that the towers are in place, we were able to work out this partnership to make sure that this internet access is now available to everybody in the Hilltowns and you know, to Westerlo, Rensselaerville, and Knox, and Berne. This is great news. This is great news for you. You don't have to drive your kids to areas within the towns that were established for hotspots for internet. You don't have to get in your car. You'll be able to do this. And we're working it out with them that the priorities first and foremost will be the students, that the superintendent and the schools identify to get the service hooked up to their house because the schools already give them tablets. So we're going to, you know, sorry to everyone else out there, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but we're going to make sure first and foremost that the students get the high-speed broadband that they need so they can continue on to Skype or Zoom for educational purposes, because that's so important right now to keep that going. So I want to thank everyone that's been involved with that. And I know Hudson Valley Wireless has grown to serve over 55,000 homes here and businesses in Albany County. So thank you, Jason, for all that you do. And, you know, again, it's not, things don't happen without a partnership. Things don't happen without working together. And, again, I want to thank Chris Smith for being a huge lobby. I want to say lobbyist, but he's a legislator. I want to say all the work that he's done up in the Hilltowns to make sure this happens, and to everyone in my office that has worked on this tirelessly and to make sure it happens, you know, now more than ever. I can't thank you enough, but Jason from Hudson Valley Wireless, please, the general manager.
Oh, thank you. So I want to start by thanking all of our partners at Albany County, Dan, Sheriff Apple, Chris Smith, and our partners at New York State, the Broadband Program Office, and Empire State Development. There have been many congressional and Senate representatives, local elected partners in the community, and everybody's come together to make this happen. So it's truly been a team effort. Hudson Valley Wireless has been focused on providing broadband access to the unserved communities, and we provide a lot of backup connections to businesses, hospitals, public safety, and some other community anchor institutions. Albany County serves as a main connection point for the region to connect to the internet. And some of our main data centers and connections to the internet are only a couple blocks away on North Pearl, State Street, and Washington Avenue. The challenge has always been to connect some of the homes and businesses in the rural areas. So we formed similar public-private partnerships with some of the neighboring counties, and that's allowed us to do that, and I'm happy to be able to do that with Albany County as well. So the extension of our broadband to the Hilltown starts in downtown Albany. We've extended the service to Rensselaer County's public safety tower over in East Greenbush. That gives us good coverage to the unserved portions of the Port of Albany and a little bit south of Albany. We've completed the microwave network through Bethlehem, the Helderberg Escarpment, Berne, Knox, and that allows us to connect up through the Hilltowns. And we also provided a redundant connection through the region, and that's linking back through Schenectady County to provide redundancy. So the network uses a combination of fiber optic and high-capacity microwave to connect the towers. Our partnerships with Google allow us to access a lot of commercial spectrum that we use for the fixed wireless, and that extends technology to the homes and businesses. So technology is capable of delivering up to a couple hundred megabits per second, but most of the residents just need our entry-level package. To kind of put that in perspective, with our entry-level package, we can have 4.3 people stream HD Netflix at the same time. And we're offering speeds that are 4 times faster than that. So at Hudson Valley, our motto is high-speed internet with hometown service. We understand the importance of reliable broadband connections. I've got 3 kids at home, and I'm actually working out of a home office right now. So I understand the importance of telehealth, telework, online education, and these are all necessary in today's digital economy. So social media keeps us connected, and it probably doesn't hurt for families to binge watch a couple Netflix shows and relax with YouTube TV. So we're proud to announce that high-speed internet is now available in the Albany Hilltowns. And if you need us, feel free to give us a call or visit us online at hvwisp.com. And here's just a quick example of some of the equipment that we're using for the fixed wireless technology. So this is an example of one of the antennas that would go at the homes or the businesses. Thank you, Dan.
Jason, thank you. And I can't thank Hudson Valley Wireless enough for making this happen, and all the partners that you said, you know, from the state to the sheriff's department to everyone that's been involved with this in my office. Thank you so much. And it's going to make a big difference. It's going to make a difference in kids' lives, especially being home. And like you said, if they need to get to a doctor's appointment, they need to fill out unemployment application, they need to, whatever they need to do that we take for granted here in areas that have internet access, they'll have that now. And I do want to say, Chris, thank you for your partnership in this and your leadership in this. And Chris Smith, our county legislator from the Hilltowns.
Thank you, thank you. I want to thank Dan's office and Sheriff Craig Apple's office and even my office at the county legislature who this was passed unanimously. You don't realize how important high-speed internet is, or internet at all, until you don't have it, can't have it, have homework to do, have to work from home. This couldn't come at a better time. Sure, the tower isn't the most beautiful thing, but now that we can do emergency medical services off of it, the paramedics can talk, the school buses can talk, and kids get high speed, and then eventually parents with their work. It's a perfect package. It makes the Hilltowns perfect.
Chris, thank you. And, you know, again, within a partnership with the legislature getting this done, Chris, thank you for your leadership on this. But most importantly, to talk about the impact this is going to have on the community. And when I started my equity agenda 7 years ago, it's one of the things we talked about, as it's been on a national level, and we talked about underserved areas. This is one area that has been underserved with the internet. It's been an issue for many years of how to address it. We finally addressed it, but who better than to talk about it than Dr. Mundell, the superintendent at BKW, to let us know how this is really going to affect us going forward in your school district.
Mr. McCoy, thank you, and thank you for the invitation to participate today. You spoke about partnerships before, and I know Chris has spoken about partnerships. We believe very strongly in the partnerships we have with the County Executive's Office, with the Legislature, and with the County Sheriff's Office. Through those partnerships, we have high-speed internet access coming to the Hilltowns. And thank you, Jason, at Hudson Valley for making this happen for us. We have about 30% of our students who do not have internet access. We have been, in the past 30 days, working round the clock to support access however we can. We've provided hotspots with local small Verizon hotspot units through our buses, and I'm sure you've seen that report on TV news in the last couple of days. But this really changes the ballgame. This is the information highway. This is the economy of the 21st century, and we are preparing kids for their futures and not our past. This is like the interstate highway system build in the 1950s, when we can provide broadband internet access to all the rural areas of New York State. This will be a thriving economy once again. What we're finding in the last 30 days is learning changes, home work changes, meaning working remotely for the parents. Yes, we do have, as Jason noted, we do have families in households with 4 or 5 people attempting to access the internet at one time. And this morning I left a phone message, I received it, and it was a very frustrated parent who was not able to get access, and it was a challenge for that parent to go to work and get their child and come to school and sit in the parking lot and do homework. And so this is going to take care of all of that, and we are truly appreciative to Hudson Valley for this effort. We're truly appreciative for the efforts of the County Executive's Office, and we want to continue to explore these partnerships. The shared services plan, we're working closely with BOCES and some of the supervisors in the Hilltowns to make some other partnerships happen that will exacerbate and enhance our technology capabilities. And so we thank you. We thank you for your efforts, and Chris for your efforts. And I know you mentioned that Travis Stevens was part of this process as well. We want to extend our appreciation to Travis as well. The two of you have been great, staunch supporters and advocates for the Hilltowns communities, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mundell, and I appreciate your leadership in the Hilltowns. Also, want to thank, again, partnership. It does take a partnership into Sheriff Apple and his team at the EOC getting stuff out. They got over 20,000 masks to St. Peter's and Albany Med yesterday, the N95s that they needed. And I can't thank them enough. And we continue to get supplies out. And to Dr. Whalen and her team, that all the supplies that came in, we're getting it out through the EOC, we're getting it to the people that need it, and we'll continue to get the most viable resources for PPE out to the people that need it, that are on the front lines. Also want to share a picture with you that I saw on a tree someone put up from CDTA, thanking the drivers for what they're doing. Just a nice little warm thank you to them. Into Kenneth's Army, they donated another $250 to help feed the children in Berne-Knox-Westerlo School District. And as always, please, if you have any issues, something's bothering you, you need just to talk to somebody, our mental health line's open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and there's the numbers up for you. It's area code 518-269-6634, and as always, the 211 number in the New York State hotline. Can't thank them enough for the partnership. And also to everyone, and I should have started off as I usually do every morning, and thank all the people that are the essential workers out there keeping us moving forward. Can't thank you enough. To our security guards and all of our buildings that are out there doing their job, thank you. To everyone. And if I don't mention you, I just want to say thank you for everything that you're doing, because without working together in a partnership, we can't get things done.